Have you ever heard of Isuzu? It might not make headlines in the world of motorsports. Its name might not conjure up images of luxury or speed, but behind that quiet presence lies one of the foundational pillars of Japan's automotive industry. In many key markets, its true historical role remains largely unknown, and yet the facts speak for themselves. While Mitsubishi built Japan's first car, it was Isuzu that took the leap into mass production. And it was also Isuzu that built the first documented truck in the history of Japanese industry. Its longevity is remarkable, but what truly sets it apart is its absolute mastery in one mechanical art: the exclusive production of diesel engines. Engines that don't just run, they endure. Efficient, rugged, virtually indestructible. Attached to trucks, buses, and commercial fleets, they've made Isuzu a silent leader in global heavy-duty transportation. Thanks to Isuzu, millions of entrepreneurs, big and small, have moved their businesses across jungles, mountains, and deserts. Where the asphalt ends, that's where Isuzu's world begins. Today, we travel back to the early 20th century to uncover the story, the strategy, and the mechanical legacy of Isuzu Motors, the true king of diesel power. Unlike many car companies born from the vision of a single founder, the story of Isuzu began as a collective project. In 1916, a company called Tokyo Ishikawajima Shipbuilding and Engineering Company Limited, specialized in shipbuilding and heavy engineering, decided to diversify and build a plant dedicated to vehicle production. Japan was then undergoing a rapid wave of industrial modernization, determined to close the gap with Western powers. In that context, in 1918, Tokyo Ishikawajima partnered with British firm Wolseley Motors Limited. The goal? To manufacture automobiles on Japanese soil. 6 engineers were sent to the United Kingdom for 8 months to learn automotive technology firsthand in British factories. When they returned, prototype production began at a new plant in Fukagawa. This laid the foundation for what would later become Isuzu. Still unnamed, the company focused on assembling British cars under license, as Japan's domestic industry still lacked the technical capacity to develop its own designs. In 1922, after 4 years of effort, they reached their first major milestone: a 2-cylinder, 10-horsepower vehicle known as the Wolseley A9. It would go down in history as the first mass-produced passenger car in Japan. Its impact became even more evident 1 year later, after the devastating Great Kanto earthquake of 1923, where these vehicles proved vital in reconstruction efforts. In 1924, the company made another historic breakthrough: the Wolseley CP, considered the first Japanese truck in history. Capable of carrying up to 1.5 tons, it marked the birth of a legacy that would turn Isuzu into a titan of commercial transport. By 1927, after ending the partnership with Wolseley, the company developed its first fully domestic vehicle, the Sumaida, a 2-ton truck that symbolized the company's decisive step toward technological independence. 2 years later, in 1929, the automotive division split from its industrial parent company to form Ishikawa Automotive Works Co. Limited, focusing exclusively on vehicle production. The 1930s arrived in a new political climate: the rise of Japan's imperial army and its regional expansion policies. The growing demand for utility vehicles gave Isuzu's predecessor a unique window of opportunity. In 1933, the Japanese government commissioned the creation of a national vehicle, the Standard Government Model. To develop it, Ishikawa Automotive teamed up with DAT Automobile Manufacturing, which would later become Nissan. The result of that collaboration was a car with the symbolic name, Isuzu, inspired by the river flowing beside the grand shrine of Ise, one of Japan's most sacred places. The name means 50 bells, evoking longevity, purity, and strength. With that name, the company's future identity was born. As the company expanded, it received backing and formed new alliances, notably with Tokyo Gas and Electric Industrial Co., which opened the doors to a new technological frontier: diesel engines. In 1936, the company produced Japan's first air-cooled diesel engine, marking the beginning of a long tradition in building robust engines. The DA4 and DA6 models developed during this time were heavily used by the Japanese military. In 1937, the company underwent another reorganization, adopting the name Tokyo Automobile Industries Company Limited. And as Japan escalated its involvement in World War II, the company once again pivoted toward military production: trucks, troop transports, utility vehicles. Isuzu became an essential cog in Japan's logistical machinery across Asia and the Pacific. But like the nation it served, the company would not emerge unscathed. With the collapse of the Axis powers came air raids, devastation, and industrial paralysis. Many of its plants were destroyed. Production came to a near complete halt. The company that would become Isuzu had been born into a world at war. But its greatest challenge still lay ahead: to rise from the ashes. After Japan's surrender in 1945, the country came under Allied occupation led by the United States. The new mission was clear: demilitarize, rebuild, and redefine. The former factories of Isuzu's predecessor, many of them damaged by bombing, were rehabilitated with support from the transitional government. But this time, their purpose was no longer military production, but civil reconstruction. In 1946, just 1 year after the war ended, production resumed. Isuzu, still without a formal name, focused its efforts on utility vehicles for commercial transport. In a country reduced to rubble, the need was urgent: to rebuild roads, move materials, and reactivate the economy. In 1949, the official rebirth took place. The remaining structures of Ishikawa Automotive Works and Tokyo Automobile Industries merged under a new name: Isuzu Motors Limited. The name honored the pre-war government standard model vehicle and the sacred Isuzu River. The 1950s marked the beginning of the company's true rise. Returning to its original strength, diesel engines, Isuzu began selling them at industrial scale in 1952. Their applications were vast: construction equipment, forklifts, generators, boats, even scientific expeditions in extreme conditions. One of the most iconic episodes from this period was Isuzu's role in Antarctic exploration. In 1956, Japan joined an international scientific mission to study the frozen continent. Surviving in such brutal conditions required reliable technology, and Isuzu's diesel engines proved up to the task. From that experience, a key product was born in 1959, the N-Series light truck, also known as the Isuzu Elf. Designed for both extreme climates and urban demands, it became a phenomenon. For 22 consecutive years, it was Japan's best-selling commercial truck, with over 2 million units sold. Today, it remains in production in over 140 countries. Driven by that success, Isuzu introduced additional models: medium and heavy-duty trucks from the F, C, and E series, built for long distances and heavy loads, both in cities and remote rural areas. Throughout the 1960s, Isuzu built a state-of-the-art factory in Fujisawa, complete with its own test track and research labs. At the time, it became the most advanced automotive production facility in Japan. But Isuzu's story didn't end with freight transport. It also attempted to make its mark in the world of passenger vehicles, and did so with lasting impact. In 1953, under license from the British Rootes Group, Isuzu began manufacturing the Isuzu Hillman Minx, initially using imported parts, but soon transitioning to domestic production. This exposure to European engineering laid the groundwork for their next step. In 1961, Isuzu unveiled its first in-house design, the Belle. Its name combined the word Belle and the Roman numeral L, 50, a nod to the meaning of Isuzu, 50 bells. In 1963 came the Bellet, a compact sedan also offered as a coupe. With refined design and finishes, it earned the nickname the Japanese Alfa Romeo. And in 1968, Isuzu reached its stylistic peak with the 117 Coupe, designed by Giorgetto Giugiaro, the genius behind the Lotus Esprit and the DeLorean DMC-12. This elegant two-door Grand Tourer not only featured fuel injection, a rarity at the time, but was also the first diesel-powered sports car in history. Though nearly 100,000 units were built, the 117 Coupe remains a cult classic among collectors to this day. Thus ended the 1960s, with a diverse lineup, solid technological foundations, and rising ambition. The next decade would bring global partnerships, diesel innovation leadership, and unprecedented expansion. Isuzu was ready to conquer the world. During the 1950s and 1960s, General Motors held the crown as the world's largest automaker. Its dominance was unquestionable. For a company like Isuzu, forging an alliance with GM wasn't just strategic, it was a direct gateway into the most coveted markets on the planet. The agreement was sealed in 1971, when General Motors acquired a 34.2% stake in Isuzu. For the Americans, the motivation was clear: to integrate Japan's advanced diesel technology at a time when fuel efficiency was becoming critical. For the Japanese, the benefit was access. North America and Europe were now within reach. The first result of this alliance came in 1972 with the launch of the Isuzu Faster, marketed in the U.S. as the Chevrolet Love. It was an immediate success, over 100,000 units sold in its first year, marking Isuzu's official entry into the competitive pickup truck segment. In 1975, the Chevy Love was named the most fuel-efficient vehicle by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, right in the middle of the 1973 oil crisis. While many automakers struggled, Isuzu thrived, as its reliable, economical diesel engines gained rapid popularity. Throughout that decade, Isuzu surpassed competitors like Mitsubishi Fuso and Hino Motors, becoming Japan's largest manufacturer of light-duty trucks. In 1974, the partnership yielded another key model, the Isuzu Gemini, a compact sedan sold globally under various brands including Chevrolet, Opel, and Holden. Building on that platform, Giorgetto Giugiaro once again lent his design genius to create the Isuzu Piazza in 1981. An elegant coupe sold in North America as the Isuzu Impulse. Over time, the Piazza evolved with the help of Lotus, gaining both refined handling and a sleeker aesthetic. The 1980s marked the peak of Isuzu's global reach. In 1981, the company founded American Isuzu Motors, Inc., headquartered in California, making its formal debut in the U.S. under its own brand. two models arrived that would become 4x4 icons, the Isuzu Trooper and the Isuzu MU, sold as the Rodeo in other markets. Both were celebrated for their off-road prowess and rugged durability. The Trooper, in particular, gained popularity across North America, Europe, and Asia. In 1984, Isuzu entered the U.S. commercial truck market with the KS22 model. The response was immediate. By 1986, data from R.L. Polk confirmed that Isuzu was the top-selling imported commercial vehicle brand in the U.S., a position it would continue to hold, eventually surpassing 500,000 units sold. Industrial expansion followed. In 1989, Isuzu partnered with Fuji Heavy Industries, now Subaru, to open a joint plant in Indiana, capable of producing 60,000 pickups and 60,000 rodeos annually, creating thousands of American jobs. By the end of that decade, Isuzu had become the world's largest manufacturer of medium and heavy-duty trucks, surpassing industry giants like Mercedes-Benz, Volvo, and Ford. In the 1990s, innovation didn't stop. In 1994, Isuzu launched the Giga Truck Series, designed for heavy transport. It earned prestige for adopting common rail diesel technology, which boosted fuel efficiency and reduced emissions. However, with exponential growth came shadowy clouds. While Isuzu still led in the commercial sector, its financial health began to deteriorate. Japan's economic crisis and persistent losses in the passenger car division put the company under strain. By the early 1990s, Isuzu reported losses exceeding $500 million. In response, General Motors increased its stake to 49%, injected capital, and appointed Donald T. Sullivan as Isuzu's CEO. But the measures were not enough. The decade ended with a clear signal. The passenger car business was collapsing. Faced with this reality, Isuzu began to consider a future in which its only sustainable path was to return to its core strengths: trucks, diesel innovation, and commercial applications. The new millennium arrived under stormy skies. In the West, warning signs were already flashing for General Motors, then the largest shareholder of Isuzu. Uncertainty loomed. But amid this turbulence, a key alliance emerged: the creation of D-Max Limited, a joint venture dedicated to diesel engine manufacturing. From this factory came the now legendary Duramax engines, used by GM in models such as the Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra. It became a symbol of technological rebirth and the foundation for one of Isuzu's greatest commercial successes. That same project gave birth to the Isuzu D-Max, a rugged, efficient pickup truck with near-indestructible engineering. The impact was immediate. Co-developed with GM and sharing a platform with the Chevrolet Colorado, the D-Max quickly became a global benchmark in the pickup segment. However, the relationship with GM began to unravel. Isuzu gradually repurchased its shares and by 2006 regained full control of the company. The business alliance was dissolved, though D-Max Limited remained operational and successful. That same year, a new player entered the scene. Toyota acquired a 5.9% stake in Isuzu, becoming its third-largest shareholder after Itochu and Mitsubishi Corporation. The motive was clear. As the world moved toward electrification and low-emission technologies, Toyota aimed to strengthen its technological network in commercial mobility. As Isuzu progressively withdrew from the U.S. market, closing dealerships and ending passenger car sales, it found new engines of growth in Asia and Eurasia. Emerging markets like China, Russia, and India demanded robust, fuel-efficient trucks and pickups. And Isuzu delivered. By 2010, Isuzu had reached a milestone: over 20 million diesel engines produced. Engines not only powering their own vehicles, but also found in models by Renault, Opel, and even General Motors. Since then, the company has focused on two strategic pillars: commercial trucks and the D-Max pickup. In the trucking segment, Isuzu also embraced digital innovation. Their Mamoru-kun telematics system allows entire fleets to monitor real-time performance, maintenance schedules, and operational efficiency, becoming an increasingly valuable tool for transport and logistics companies. Meanwhile, the D-Max remains at the top, a formidable competitor across Southeast Asia and Latin America. In Thailand, it dominates over 40% of the pickup market, outperforming industry giants like the Toyota Hilux and Ford Ranger. Financially, as of the end of 2024, Isuzu boasts a market capitalization exceeding $10 billion, employs over 45,000 people globally, and maintains physical operations in 47 countries. Its distribution network now reaches more than 140 markets, serving as a key partner for commercial fleets, small businesses, and logistics operators. Looking forward, the company stands at a strategic crossroads: preserve its dominance in diesel technology while transitioning into sustainable mobility. With the support of Toyota and ongoing development in electric trucks and low-emission platforms, Isuzu is not simply adapting to the future. It's determined to lead the next era of transportation. And so, we conclude the story of Isuzu Motors, the true kings of the diesel engine. While it may not match the commercial scale of giants like Toyota, Nissan, or Honda, Isuzu's contributions to the automotive world are undeniable. Through its trucks, pickups, and engines, Isuzu has powered businesses, supported commerce, and connected communities in some of the most demanding environments on Earth. If you're a fan of Isuzu or passionate about the world of engines, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. And if this story hooked you, you might want to discover how another Japanese genius, on par with Soichiro Honda or Sakichi Toyoda, gave rise to one of the world's most influential automotive brands, one that proudly bears his name: Suzuki. See you in the next video.